It looks incredibly ugly for Binance. It seems like the Department of Justice of the USA is hunting for CZ, the CEO of Binance. And this is not according to anybody. This is according to John Reed Stark, who had been with the SEC for almost 20 years. And so he's focusing on incident response and digital compliance. And listen to what he has to say about this whole Binance situation. He says, why the US Department of Justice will file or has already filed under seal a Binance-related criminal indictment. And so I'm not going to read through this whole tweet over here, but I will link this down below. This is very convincing. The basic idea is that what has been in the lawsuit against Binance and where CZ has already been mentioned, it doesn't just sound like a small violation, right? It looks like money laundering. It looks like misappropriation of customer funds. All these problematic things that Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX is now being rightfully so accused for doing. So feel free to read through all of this. This does not look like just random FUD. This looks quite legit by somebody that seems to know what he's talking about. And so what does that mean? It means that the USA might try to get him extradited. CZ, basically an official criminal that has to justify himself in front of court, that has to go to court. And what's the most likely here? The most likely scenario is probably not that he will get caught like Sam Bankman-Fried. Probably he tries to flee away. But still, what happens to Binance with all of this? I don't know the details around this, but I can very much imagine that the SWIFT transfer system does have some kind of a blacklist. And if Binance itself, together with its founder, are currently hunted by the DOJ and he's not appearing in front of court and he's not getting extradited, then banks all around the world might not be able even to process transactions. Binance might be on a blacklist, and anybody that would ignore this might then get cut off from the SWIFT system altogether. That's the worst case. But looking at this tweet, that worst case has increased in probability. It's not anymore a small likelihood. It is relatively likely that CZ gets thrown into the same kind of category where Sam Bankman-Fried currently is in. Now, I wish I could say that in any crisis there is chances, right? There is opportunities. And in this case, even though this would be devastating for crypto as a whole, one might potentially think about why not bet on the BNB price, the main token on the Binance Smart Chain. Why not bet on it falling, right? If Binance collapses like FTX, then we will very likely see also the BNB price collapse. But the issue here is you probably need some kind of exposure to Binance in order to do this. So most ways to borrow BNB are on the Binance Smart Chain. And now if BNB collapses, who knows if you can actually cash out those profits. It was the same problem with FTT, right? If you shorted the FTT token and you did this on FTX related applications, you had nice book gains, but you probably couldn't get the money out. That's the same problem here. So I was looking at it. Are there possibilities to borrow the BNB token besides the Binance Smart Chain? And there is, but it is incredibly risky as well. So I found this application here, the Starlay Finance borrowing and lending platform, and it's pretty much a former shell of itself, right? Only 2 million total value locked. At one time, it was at 200 million. It's a fork of Aave, so that's probably not the issue. It is based on the Astar blockchain. So this is a side chain of Polkadot. This is the welcome page. This is the markets page. And in here, without being exposed to the Binance Smart Chain, we can borrow BNB. So the idea here would be you bridge your token to the Astar chain. You do this, by the way, with the seller bridge. So you go, for example, from Polygon to Astar, you can bridge your assets over here. You deposit whatever you still believe in. So this could be USDC. You don't get a lot of return for this. So you've got your collateral on the platform and then you borrow BNB tokens against this. You've got a loan denominated in BNB tokens. Then you swap the BNB tokens to maybe simply, again, a stable coin. You deposit that stable coin back into Starlay Finance, and then you simply wait for BNB to explode. So basically your debt that's denominated in BNB is becoming worthless, and so that's then your profit. That's the basic mechanics, but it is risky. It's a very small blockchain. It's a very small borrowing and lending platform. maybe there are possibilities to bet on falling BNB prices on centralized exchanges. In a decentralized manner, I've only seen this Starlay Finance app. I hate to do videos like this, and I can already see a lot of people simply just commenting under here and saying FUD, Binance will never break, and there are still a lot of reserves on Binance. It's not that Binance is running out of assets. You can see this all the way in the chain. I made a video about this as well, so there's no problems with the assets. But tell me how BNB will still be at its current value when the DOJ is searching for CZ. It's simply just adding one and one together, right? When there's so strong allegations behind Binance and CZ's name is in there, it's not that surprising that criminal charges will also be revealed here. I've taken off all my assets from the Binance Smart Chain. I don't have any money in any centralized exchanges. There is now a chance that Binance gets in real serious trouble. It's not a certainty, but it's definitely a non-zero chance. So be careful out there. If you want to take the risk, use that Astar chain to bet on falling BNB prices. Don't necessarily do this on the Binance Smart Chain. Definitely don't be exposed with a significant amount of your assets to Binance right now. It's simply just too risky. The upside isn't there, but the downside is basically 100% if things go really, really bad.